This is Helena with your Culture Tuesday today. We are in the midst of Advent and there's many things to do. The Jessie tree, the Advent wreath, spending time in Eucharistic adoration. I know part of the disastrous part of Advent is preparing and getting ready for our little ones to have a joyous time at Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, celebrating the birth of our Lord Jesus, gathering together as a family, and part of it is remembering the 3 wise men and the gifts. So, as we're out and about, I thought I need some suggestions of what to get my boys for Christmas. And I don't want to get them just anything. Yes, Lego is a suggestion. Yes, this and that. Experiences. I think there's a trampoline park coming their way. But I wanted something that we could have to really deepen our faith, to talk together about as well. And also, just to bring a bit of joy in another part of their bookshelf. Well, that suggestion is going to be books. And I have 3 authors with us today to give us some suggestions for stocking stuffers or just gifts in general for your younger members of your family. Today we have authors Tammy Fernando, Corinna Turner, and Madeleine Carroll. Oh, look at this. Hello, ladies.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. All right, let's get started with some good questions, though. I've had each of these ladies on the radio before, and it has been a joy each time. But why books for Christmas? I like just the idea that it just lights up my shelf. But Tammy, why do you think we should give a book for one of our young ones for Christmas as a gift?
Well, books are really powerful. Stories are powerful. For all ages, particularly for, I'm biased, I suppose, because I write for 3 to 6 year olds, but for that age group, when their minds are still spongy, they soak up everything that they read, and everything they experience in life. So you've got to give them good stuff. And even for older, teens and even adults, people read books and stories captivate them and they're still thinking about them 3 days later. So I think books can change lives, basically. So that's a good enough reason.
That needs to be like our big post. Books can save lives. Thank you, Tammy. Now, Madeleine, you write for the younger, but also a bit of the older as well. And Isaiah Books, everyone, Isaiah Book Publishing, has several books for older teens. Why a book for Christmas?
Well, I just remember as a child receiving books for Christmas, and usually they were ones that my mum got secondhand. But I remember one of my favourite ones that was completely like dog-eared and secondhand, but I just loved it, was a Secret 7 book, I think. And it was so exciting because I just learnt to actually read like novels sort of thing. I just, branched out from reading, your primary readers and everything. And my mum kind of honoured me or sort of trusted me with this kind of novel. I mean, it was only The Secret 7, but it was like this amazing, exciting thing. And then that kind of sparked me on a journey of like Enid Blyton. And then, you roll on from there. But I do remember it being a Christmas present and just being, you get all those really exciting things for Christmas, which is great. And I did get so many lovely things, but the book can seem quite humble, but it actually can spark off the adventure of a lifetime because then you just keep on reading, don't you? So for me, that was kind of like, that's why I love gifting my children books for Christmas. But it's become a joke in my house because all the children are like, Mummy, not too many books. And I'm like, oh, okay.
I love it. Books spark off adventure. So does a good pair of socks, just to let you know. So anyone listening to what Helena wants for Christmas, it's a pair of socks as well. The 7, does that mean, I remember your daughter being on the radio once, and that was one of her books she said she would suggest to read for the summer. Have you re-gifted that present to one of your kids?
I haven't, actually.
Okay.
No, we were just given a whole load of famous Enid Blyton books from an Opus Dei house that was shutting down, and we've just got like millions on our bookshelf now. So that's why she knows all about them as well.
Oh my goodness, there's a treasure in the Carroll house. All right, Corinna, you write for older children, for teens, and you're part of the Catholic Teen Authors group. Is that right?
Catholic teen books. Yes.
Catholic teen books. So
Yes.
why would a teenager want to, especially since we've got don't we want a new app for our phones for the teenagers? Why a book?
Well, I'm going to have to disagree with Tammy here now, and I'm going to be like, oh, it's far more important that the teenagers read and that they get their books. Anyway, I think we can all agree that it's important for all the children to read. Yes, I think it's very important. It feeds their imagination. And the good thing about a book for present is that they can enjoy it over and over and over again. Especially, and get the good effects from it. But also, if they're not a rereader, because some people aren't rereaders, they can donate it to a charity shop and someone else can get the pleasure and the benefit from it. So books make great presents. I see I have to go last with this question, so you guys have said everything.
That's all right. We'll get to go first for the next one. But I will also say for teens, our local Rowan's school they initiated the year off with saying, please just spend 20 minutes a day reading. 20 minutes a day reading. So we as a family would buckle down. We're going to read 20 minutes. And quickly we realized for Rowan, our older son, that he kept going towards the younger books, and we're like, it's time to, but it took the younger books and that practice. It was like getting ready for a marathon. You've got to read the little ones first with the pictures and stuff. And then as you practice, you'll get ready for the novels, for the novellas. And if you don't have it earlier on, you got to catch up. To be fair, I'm still catching up. I love my picture books. All right. So ladies and gentlemen, listeners, we've convinced you. Books for Christmas for your younger family members. Now, Madeleine, you already started telling us a bit about a special gift you once got, one of your books from your childhood. But let's go to Corinna, because that's not fair. We got to let Corinna go first. What was a special book that you received as a young person growing up?
This is a really difficult one because as an author, I feel like I ought to be coming up with some lovely, touching story about some book that I received that sort of transformed my life and made me want to be an author. And I'm just kind of racking my brains, to be honest. Because most of the books I was given when I was a child, I asked for them.
Clever.
Obviously since then I mostly bought them myself, so I'm no use on this question, so now I'm going first and I've got not much to say. I mean, I do remember I begged for one of the Redwall books by Brian Jacks, and my parents were like, this is above your reading age. And I begged and I begged and I begged, so they bought it for me, and I got a few pages in and it was above my reading age, so I put it down. But then like a year later I picked it up and absolutely loved it, and really liked his books as a child, so I could recommend Brian Jacks. Yeah. Oh,
Brian Jacks. There you go. Well, make sure. Wait, write this down, Helena. Brian Jacks. All right. Let's go to Madeleine. What was one? You've given us one example, The Deadly Seven. What other books? Is there another special gift you received one time?
I mean, my great love is Anne of Green Gables.
Oh!
And I used to get them all from the library. But then I remember once my brother, I had a really lovely version of Anne of Green Gables, and it got lost. And I remember once my youngest brother, it was such a touching thing. He bought me like a really beautiful copy for my birthday. And it was so sweet because he was just like a teenager. And he just bought me this so Anne of Green Gables, because again, they set me off on a whole series of like Lucy Maud Montgomery's books. And the imagination of Anne is just like phenomenal. And I'd grown up watching the 1980s series, which are really, really good. I'm actually just rewatching them now with my girls and they love them. But the books are different. There's more depth to them. The character development is like more exciting, and it's just a different story. So I loved watching the series, and that's kind of what I grew up on. And then discovering the books afterwards, which is a bit unusual. Normally you read the books first and you watch whatever. But I read the books a bit later, and I took a lot out of them. And I always remember that my lovely brother Thomas, there's a shout out for you, Thomas, giving me Anne of Green Gables.
Oh, I do love it. Have you seen the new series?
Anne
with an E.
Oh, yes, I haven't actually seen that one. I haven't actually.
Yeah, Corinna's giving us a no. Okay, well, we can say this. I also don't think it's not that very good. I don't know.
Not suitable for children, let's put it that way.
There you go. So stick with sometimes you get it right the first time. You don't need to keep reading.
Yeah. Yeah, Megan Follows is the best one, I think, from the 80s.
Oh my goodness! I'm just getting little flushes from just thinking of what was the young man's name? The student pulls her hair.
Gilbert.
Gilbert Blythe. Okay. Oh my goodness, Madeleine, that's a really good point. So one of the books that I really cherished getting was the full version of The Hunchback of Notre Dame. So I wasn't too young. I was older. Actually, I've been a minute. Anyway, when The Hunchback of Notre Dame, the Disney version came out, I loved the music. I loved it. And my mom, I didn't read much as a child, or even a young woman, but my mom gave me the thick book of The Hunchback of Notre Dame by Victor Hugo. It was so huge, and I thought, I'm never gonna, but I did it. And I was also part of I read it while I was on a trip to Poland. So there was a lot of driving, there's a lot of trains, and I didn't want to talk to my nasty little brother. Oh, shout out to Lucas. No, but I read the whole thing, and like you said, Madeleine, I was like, yes, look at all this insides. I know more about the Hunchback than anybody else. Oh, did you actually know this happened? And so ladies and gentlemen, sometimes a book from the film or the original or whatever is totally worth getting after the films come out, after you've seen it, because it can hook you in already.
Yeah. Oh. I should try that book, Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Oh my goodness, it's so good. Oh.
That could be our adult Christmas gift suggestion.
There you go. We did it. We tick that box. All right, Tammy, what about you? Have you had a special gift, a book gift given to you at one point?
Yes, I did. It was when I was a child, and I have to confess, I have never been a good reader. At school, I was told must read more. I was one of those kids. And even as an adult, I don't really read that much. But there was a book at Christmas that I remember really being attracted to. And I said to my mum and dad, I was probably about 8 or 9, I said, I really would like this for Christmas. How you drop these heavy hints. Anyway, they bought it. And it was 365 Christmas stories, bedtime stories, one for each year. They were really short. Sometimes they were just a poem, but there were pictures with every single one. And I devoured that and I loved it. And I couldn't just stay with one day. I had to read the next day or the day before or whatever. And I kept reading it and reading it and reading it until I knew it was way too young for me. So that was my story. That's my favourite book, I suppose, really.
Tammy, that brings up a good point. So little stories sometimes can be really nice. Corinna, I believe you've got a book, and a lot of the Catholic teen books groups have books where it's a couple of short stories in one book. Can you tell us, perhaps maybe you can push those are great ideas. You don't have to have a whole Hunchback of Notre Dame book, maybe just a few short stories. Tell us about that.
Yes, well, Catholic Teen Books has actually done 5 anthologies now. So each one has stories by multiple authors. And we, in fact, have a Christmas one, which is called Gifts, Visible and Invisible. And that's got a whole variety of Christmas-related stories. And mine is a dinosaur.
Yes, do not shy away from that, Corinna. You've got a dinosaur one. Yes.
Yes. So, a very Jurassic Christmas Eve, about trying to rescue a mother dinosaur who's hatched her chicks in the middle of the winter. There's snow on the ground, but she laid her eggs by a hot spring, so her chicks have hatched, and now she's kind of desperate. So the main characters are like, shall we cull the mother and take the chicks? And then Josh is like, well, can't we take the mother too? And his uncle's like, she's too big, she won't fit in a vehicle. And he's like, yes, she will. And what happens?
Oh no, that's so heartbreaking already. Oh my goodness.
And I should say, so there's a short story in the anthology, but there's also a full-length novel about that, which is called A Very Jurassic Christmas, which is like the full version of the story, because the short story only sort of goes so far, and then there is a full novel, A Very Jurassic Christmas.
I love it. Oh, I love it. Okay, Very Jurassic Christmas. Is it on? I'm just sorry. This is a personal question now. Is it on Amazon? How do I get this book? Very Jurassic.
It is on Amazon, and you can find it on CatholicTeenBooks.com. There are more links there, I think, to different places. I mean, you can look it up anywhere that sells books, to be honest.
Oh, I love it. I love it. All right, listeners, you've been sitting there thinking, I want to ask Helena where we get these books and things like that. Don't worry, we've got time. After the break, we're going to hear Tammy, Corinna's and Madeleine's suggestions about what books to get in those stocking stuffers. You've already heard a couple of good ideas, but we've got a few more and how to get your hands on those. So please do stay tuned. This is Culture Tuesday, and today we have Tammy Fernando, Corinna Turner, Madeleine Carroll, and myself, Helena Judd, here talking about all things gifts and books for your younger members of your family. I say younger members, but I've already started thinking, I need these books just for me, for some light reading before going to bed. We've heard about why books can be a great gift. They start an adventure. They keep giving. They can lead your imagination to a place beyond any other kind of gifts can give you. But we've also mentioned some special gifts from our own memories. But now it is time to get the list going. What kind of books should I be looking out for my young ones? Let's start with the very young. So, Tammy, I have your first book in my hands, not in my hands physically now. I had it this morning. Sam was looking at it and Teddy was reading it over for the 5th time. So, Tammy, tell us a bit about your book series and what age group is it for and why would it make a good Christmas gift?
So my books are for 3 to 7-year-olds, really. So they're picture books. And my stories are all about, and the main character is a little boy called Chris. He's 6 years old, and it's really about his life adventures, but his also with God, how God helps him and supports him. What's unique about my books, really, I suppose, are they've got the Holy Trinity on every single page in either a tiny form or something a little bit bigger. And also that they are encouraging children to have a relationship with God, which I think is important. When God gave me sort of like the nudge to do these books, they're the two things mainly that he wanted me to try and put forward, I feel. But this is my latest book. So this one is the Road to Joseph, and it's a nativity story. And it's about little Chris who's desperate to want to be Joseph, absolutely desperate. And he tries and he tries. He doesn't get there. It takes him a long time to get there. But in the middle of all this, he has a dream, and it's a prophetic dream because God the Father tells him that he will be Joseph, even though he's just had an accident and he's on crutches. But this prophecy is tested. His parents test it a little bit the next day, and his own faith is tested. And it gets up to 2 minutes just before the curtain goes up, and da-da-da! It all happens then.
I'm so glad I was like, I don't know the ending now. My goodness, all of this in pictures?
Yes. Yeah, all in picture form. Done by the lovely Kimberly Merritt. She's from America. Yes, lots of things here.
There you go. Such a drama and perfect for Christmas. Oh, I know my son is playing. Well, is he playing? Will he play the part of Joseph in the Nativity? Will you have to go see the show to find out? Oh, I'm looking forward. I think you said it was in the post, so I'm looking forward to getting my hands on that. Thank you, Tammy. So what's it called again?
The Road to Joseph.
The Road to Joseph. And we can get our hands on any of Tammy's books. They're available on Amazon, but they're also, check out tammyfernando.co.uk and you can see the other books about the young man that keeps trying and developing his relationship with God. tammyfernando.co.uk. Oh, and there's just lovely interactive things. And Tammy, just another shout out for Tammy. Her blog on the website is amazing. It has some really nice advice for parents as well. So thank you for that, Tammy. Madeleine! All right. I have the new Mary one that not only involves pictures and a lovely story, but colouring. I love that your books contain colouring sheets. Yes. All right, Madeleine, give us your list. What kind of things do I need to... I probably already have them all. But for our listeners, what do they need to get their hands on?
So the new one, She Pondered the Starlight, is a good one because, as you said, it has the colouring sheets in, and it has the Magnificat prayer in and some other things. And I like it as well for, not only can it encourage little ones, but it can kind of encourage mummies, expectant mummies, which is what I am at the moment.
I forgot about that.
And, pregnancy is hard, and it's just a sort of, it's a shout out to mothers being the place of welcome to humankind and to really encourage mothers into this journey and how difficult it can be, and how difficult it was for Mary, but how she kept pondering and praising, and she got through it. She got through being exiled out of her hometown just very short while before she was going to give birth. So there's that one, which can kind of encourage all the ages, including the parents. And then there's Joyful Noise, One Silent Night, which is, I love it. It's close to my heart because it's kind of based around, now you would never really know it, but for me, I wrote it based around a child with special needs. My daughter has, I think, ADHD among other things, and this little drummer boy is what it's based on. He has ADHD and he cannot stop playing his drum. But in the end, it's his drum playing that calms the baby Jesus down. And so that's got a really special place in my heart because of the journey I've been on with my special needs daughter. But we've also got Advent prophecies in that book. So you make it kind of catechetical again. You can read an Advent prophecy each week of Advent from that book. And then there's another nice one, which is a full colouring book, The Bethlehem Shepherds, published by Second Spring, written by myself, illustrated by the very talented Michelle Pitt. And that one's just nice because you can buy a colouring book, but then you can also buy the storybook if you want to as well. And you can kind of read it alongside. And I used to like doing that as a child. I remember getting a princess book, colouring book, and it was like there was a full colour image and then you coloured in the princess next to it. And I found it amazing. So that's kind of a nice thing that you could buy a colouring book and then a storybook and copy if you wanted to. So there's a few there.
I love it. I love it. So isaiahbooks.co.uk, isaiahbooks.co.uk. Also on it is a couple of Roy Peachy's books. This book, A Little Book of British Saints, it keeps giving, especially as a confirmation catechist. I'm like, oh, there's all these English saints. It also helps me kind of plan out what we do on our week-long holidays. We're going to go to this place. This saint was here. So again, and Roy Peachy has another book out as well, but we'll save that for a different program when Roy comes on himself. So again, isaiahbooks.co.uk, and let's get back because teens are the hardest to shop for. Give us some suggestions, Corinna.
Well, so I've already talked about A Very Jurassic Christmas and also the anthology Gifts, Visible and Invisible, if you'd like a selection of authors. And I also have another unsparked Christmas story. This one's called A Truly Clawsome Christmas. And this is actually a little prequel short story about the priest from the main series. And it's about how his bishop asks him to become a rural priest just before Christmas, and he's a city priest. So he has to go out into the countryside with all the dangerous dinosaurs, and it's about how his very first day on the job goes. Hint, not too well. So that one is available either as an ebook or it's available as part of a small anthology called Three Clawsome Tales. And then I have another very Christmassy book, which is called Do Carpenters Dream of Wooden Sheep? Ooh. Which is a retelling of the Nativity story, but it's from the point of view of a teenage boy who reads the story of Mary and Joseph. He watches Blade Runner, and then he goes to sleep. And he dreams the Nativity story as a sci-fi tale. So my idea was to completely blow the dust off the Nativity story, because one feels like it's so overfamiliar from Nativity stories and Christmas cards and everything. It feels like as soon as you mention a donkey and a stable, everyone's eyes just glaze over and they're not really taking in the actual story and the actual characters and what happened. So this was my attempt to deal with that. So we have the Nativity as a sci-fi story, Do Carpenters Dream of Wooden Sheep? Which is a play on Philip K. Dick's Do Androids Dream of electric sheep.
So clever, so clever. I love it. And it's also, it gives you permission, because it's a dream. It's not like, so it gives you permission to be a bit not more creative, but create different, taking a different angle in the nativity story. Oh, I love it. Okay, so if you'd like to find out the Corinna books, and also any of the other Catholic teen books, the website is catholicteenbooks.com. I think I'm just going to need to make a blog post with all these suggestions so that you, my dear friends, can click on it, can share it with friends, so that we can support our fellow Catholics, especially in this country. Hallelujah for the talent and the creativity here in this country. All right, ladies, Tammy, Madeleine, Corinna, thank you so much for coming on the radio this morning and giving us our suggestions. We're wishing you a very, very merry... Is it too early to say that? I'll see you again, so I'll say Merry Christmas later. But have a lovely, blessed Advent. And Corinna, could you end our program with a short prayer? Because we are running out of time.
In the name of the Father and Son and the Holy Spirit. Dear Lord, please give us a very blessed Advent season and easy Christmas shopping and great gifts for Christmas that will inspire our teens and feed their imaginations and feed their faith and draw them closer to you. Amen.
This was a Radio Maria podcast. If you enjoyed it, do please click like and subscribe on your podcast provider or leave us a review. Every bit of feedback helps increase our visibility and allows us to reach more people with the message of Christ's saving truth.